In the top stories, Prime Minister Drew proceeds on leave. Former BVI Premier Andrew Foy sentenced to 11 years for drug trafficking. And Tim Walz criticizes Trump as Kamala Harris's running mate at Philadelphia rally. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Wednesday, August 7th, 2024. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey. Nationally, the Prime Minister's Office of St. Kitts and Nevis has announced that the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Terrence Drew will be on scheduled personal leave from August 7th to August 21st, 2024. During this period, the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister Dr. Jeffrey Handley will serve as acting Prime Minister. Dr. Handley will oversee the government's operations, ensuring that all state of affairs continue smoothly. Prime Minister Drew has assured the public that this leave has been planned to minimize any disruption to government functions. He remains committed to addressing the nation's key issues. The Prime Minister's office emphasizes that the government remains dedicated to serving the nation with integrity and commitment during this time. The Sandy Point Benevolent Society, or SPBS, is set to recognize a distinguished group of individuals at its awards banquet on August 31st, 2024 at Villa Barone Manor in Bronx, New York. This year's theme, Our Youth Gifted for Greatness, highlights the exceptional achievements of the honorees. Jazara Claxton will receive the Distinguished Leader and Rising Star Award for her remarkable accomplishments in cricket. Notable achievements include being named captain of the Leeward Islands Under-19 cricket team and representing the West Indies women's Under-19 team. Kimara Isaac is recognized for her leadership in the scholarship committee and her role in securing significant educational opportunities. Her efforts led to over 25 scholarships for the Federation's students from Monroe University. Jason Rogers, a three-time Olympian, is honored for his impressive athletic career, including being a 2012 NACAC Under-23 champion, a bronze relay medalist at the 2011 World Championships. He is also known for his community contributions, including coaching local athletes. Michelle Amanda French Nanton is celebrated for her career in sports and mentorship. A former member of the West Indies netball team and current senior coach, she is dedicated to developing netball talent. Gloria Esdale Robinson is recognized for her achievements in sports and the arts, including her roles as a calypso coach, pageant coach, and speech writer. She was also the 2020 Calypso Monarch. The awards will be presented under the patronage of Her Excellency Dame Marcella Liburd, Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, with Creos Freeman, Principal of Freeman Law Services and former SPBS scholarship winner, as the keynote speaker. The gala embodies SPBS's motto, "We give back so others can move forward." Olympic swimmer Troy Nisbet and his coach James Weeks will return home to St. Kitts and Nevis today at 3:30 p.m. 15-year-old Nisbet earned his place in the Federation's history books when he became the first person to represent the Federation in aquatics at the 2024 Olympic Games. Nisbet was the youngest local representative at the Games, where he competed in the 50-meter freestyle, placing fifth in Heat 2 of the event. And while his placing did not earn him a place in the finals, his coach, James Weeks, believes the experience will serve the young swimmer well, as he looks forward to having a bright future in the sport. Troy is scheduled to return home at around 3:30 p.m. today. A welcome celebration is being hosted at the airport upon his return. We move now to news on the regional scene. Former Premier of the British Virgin Islands, or BVI, Andrew Foy, has been sentenced to 135 months or 11 years and 2 months in federal prison for cocaine trafficking and money laundering. U.S. District Judge Kathleen M. Williams delivered the sentence after Foy was convicted of conspiring to facilitate the transport of Colombian cocaine through BVI ports to Miami. Foy was involved in a scheme to make millions from drug sales, laundering money through businesses, and smuggling it back to the BVI. His attorney submitted letters from his wife and daughters praising him as a respected community figure. Evidence showed Foy, along with Olivine Maynard and her son, Kadeem Maynard, met with an alleged Sinaloa cartel member to arrange the drug operation. They planned to smuggle 3,000 kilograms of cocaine through BVI ports, with Foy and Maynard receiving a share of the profits. Foy and Maynard were arrested in Miami in April 2022 while trying to collect a $700,000 advance. Olivine Maynard was arrested in St. Thomas. Both Maynards had pleaded guilty to related charges and received prison sentences of 112 months and 57 months respectively. Wendel Wells from Queens, New York, has been indicted on 44 counts, including fraud and grand larceny, for allegedly scamming 10 Caribbean nationals out of $73,000 by falsely promising to improve their immigration status. Wells was arraigned on July 31st before Bronx Supreme Court Justice Raymond Bruce. The charges against her includes first-degree scheme to defraud, grand larceny, criminal possession of stolen property, and practicing law without a license. She is on supervised release and is scheduled to return to court on November 1st. According to the Department of Homeland Security Investigations, or HSI, Wells posed as an attorney and deceived victims from the Guyanese, Jamaican, and Haitian communities. She allegedly collected large fees for immigration services that were never provided, with some victims paying as much as $22,000. All applications she filed were reportedly rejected. HSI New York Special Agent in Charge Ivan Arvello condemned Wells for exploiting vulnerable individuals seeking legal immigration status. A search of Wells' home on July 31st uncovered $425,000 in cash and numerous client applications. The case, referred to the Bronx District Attorney's Financial Frauds Bureau, highlights ongoing efforts to combat fraud against undocumented immigrants. Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark criticized Wells for turning her victims' American dreams into nightmare. Internationally, at a lively Democratic rally in Philadelphia on Tuesday, Tim Walz, newly announced as Kamala Harris's vice presidential running mate, sharply criticized former President Donald Trump, accusing him of pushing the United States backwards and labeling him as quote-unquote weird as hell. Addressing over 10,000 supporters at Temple University, Walz, the governor of Minnesota, highlighted his rural roots and diverse career, contrasting himself with Trump's alleged self-interest. The 60-year-old former National Guardsman and teacher drew loud applause for his critique of Trump's criminal record and his description of Republican challengers as creepy and weird. Harris introduced Walz as a fighter for the middle class and a patriot, framing their campaign as a defense of individual freedoms, including abortion rights and gun safety. The new Democratic ticket has embarked on a 5-day tour of battleground states and will speak at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago from August 19th to 22nd. Walz, who has led Minnesota through significant reforms, faces criticism from Republicans over his handling of the COVID-19 pandemic and the George Floyd riots. Despite this, he has been praised for his achievements in office. Trump's campaign quickly labeled Walz as a dangerously liberal extremist, with Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance, accusing Harris of catering to the far left. Police in Belfast have made 6 arrests in connection with a series of race-related hate crimes and incidents of disorder that occurred on Tuesday. A 15-year-old boy sustained minor facial injuries after being assaulted at a Middle Eastern shop in West Belfast, where eggs were also thrown. In a separate incident, a car was hijacked and deliberately crashed into an estate agency on Woodvale Road. Authorities have arrested 3 teenagers on suspicion of riotous behavior following reports of masked youths causing disturbances in the Shankill area. Temporary Assistant Chief Constable Melanie Jones condemned the recent violence, stating, quote, "The scenes we have been seeing across Belfast over the last few days have been a disgrace and have no place in Northern Ireland," end quote. In related news, the House of Commons Speaker Lindsay Hoyle has advised MPs, particularly those with prominent constituency offices, to consider working from home due to security concerns. Hoyle's email to MPs highlighted the need for caution, noting that while there is no specific information suggesting that MPs or their offices are targets, the unpredictable nature of recent demonstrations warrants vigilance. The advice comes as MPs are warned by Parliament's security team about potential disorder related to planned demonstrations on Wednesday evening, particularly at locations associated with asylum seeker support services. And now for the weather. Present weather is partly cloudy skies. Winds are a gentle breeze of 12 miles per hour from the northeast. The temperature is 28 degrees Celsius or 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are 1 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. The weather forecast for today predicts partly sunny skies with brief cloudy spells and a 60% or moderate chance of brief passing showers. Tonight will be fair to partly cloudy skies with a 60% or moderate chance of brief passing overnight showers. Sunset today will be at 6:44 p.m. and sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:51 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your presenter, Shanique Harvey.